What's up, everyone? If you've been following along on Instagram lately, you have seen that I recently got a pair of these sexy bad boys, the Mutant Metals Snapback Rollers. So, if you haven't seen these before, these are a monolift hook with a roller built in, and they snap back because they're spring loaded. So you no longer have to have that huge hunky piece up here. The roller is much like the Ghost Strong and Irwin and other companies that are making them rollers. They come in custom color sets, so you can get the swing arm as well as the mono actual kind of rack attached piece custom. You can get them in 2x3, 3x3, 1 inch, 5/8 inch holes, you name it. Basically, if you have a basic rack, it should fit in some fashion. There's a whole bunch of other details that I'll go into in another video when I do an actual full review on these. But today, what we're going to look at is I'm going to show you how to turn these into a little something spicier. So, I have that set, and then I did that. So, hang out, let's see what we do. So I pre-cut a couple pieces of this vinyl that I have here. So it goes on, it's nice red shiny texture here. On the back is an adhesive backing, much like a sticker. So I can apply that to, I have some nice kind of cardstock paper here that I'm using. And so the reason why I'm doing the two pieces is I don't want to have the red on the inside be visible on the outside. So kind of a multi-step approach here. So I went ahead and I traced on this piece of scratch paper my little Mutant Metals kind of diagram here. So that's about how wide my main piece of paper needs to be. This is about how wide my red coloring can be. And then these are the areas that I can put tape and not have it overlap and be weird. So I didn't do a super precise process. You most certainly could. It comes out to about 4 inches by 4 inches for the widest part, and about 3 by 3.5 for the red part. And then these are about on center on each part. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I mock up one real quick. Not super interesting, so this should be a real quick video. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to hang off and pull into it. So go up. Okay. Now the final, we should get nice and flat here, so similar to if you ever applied a cell phone screen factor. Now, good. I'll take over and let's do a seat for it. This is I take you drop on I was like, really? This is my absolute one that's right. Okay, so I'm just gonna simply pull this back. Remember, I kind of already measured this. I'm just going to trim off this extra piece. Fold this back a bit, fold this back. There we go. So the reason, again, why I did the white on the inside was so then that way, see when you see in here, you don't have a big glaring red piece. So you can come back, you can see on here, this one's got both sides done. It still looks white on the inside, nice and clean. You don't have some glaring weird effect. So you got the nice little red, which I of course will come over here and do this one, and we're good to go. So the way that I showed you how to do this with the vinyl, with the backing and stuff, there's probably a whole bunch of different ways you can do this. I did that simply because that was the one that kind of came to me after talking to a few different friends and stuff, and felt like it was probably the easiest at the time. I think if I was to redo it, what I actually might do, especially if I was starting from scratch with products, I would probably buy a can of paint for whatever color you want here, and then assuming you have white monos, I would get, so let me say it again. I would get a piece of construction paper or poster board or something like that that matches or closely matches the color of the actual kind of hook, and then I would get paint that matches the color that you want on the lettering. I would cut that piece to size, so the one piece, and then paint it, and then adhere it with the double-sided tape. I think that would actually be easier than having to do the vinyl, because now you got to cut two things. But again, the cool thing with DIY is there's typically a lot of different ways to go. It depends on what products you have, what's close to you, the whole deal. So you could have, a lot of places have elections right now. You could probably take an election sign and carve that up and use that because it's some dense kind of plastic. You could paint that and make it, pop. Same thing, double-sided tape it in there. If you had some extra sheet metal, you could do that. There's probably, there's a ton of different ways you could do this. You could even do it with some wood if you wanted. The one nice thing about keeping it light, so as opposed to wood or metal, is that the tape should hold pretty much forever without any issues. If it falls, it's a simple replacement, but you don't have to worry about something being really strong or adhesive. In that boat, you could go the route of like an actual epoxy or something like that. Again, it's up to you how permanent you want this, how finalized you want this, how much you want to spend, the time you want to invest. This was like a 15-minute project to give me a little bit of pop and color. If it ends up falling apart, I can do it again and try it a different way. No harm, no foul. So, I hope you guys like this quick DIY kind of custom trick on this one. I like it so far. I'm going to finish up this other side and call the project done. And I will, as I mentioned, do a full review on these soon. So far, so good, no complaints, but time will tell. So, any questions, pop it down below. Thanks.